Clarice.
Dr. Lecter, my name is Clarice Starling. May I speak with you?
Have you ever heard the line, "Hello Clarice"? Well, today, we will dive into 10 weird facts that you must know about The Silence of the Lambs, 1991. Stick around till the end, because there's a bonus fact waiting for you. So, let's begin. The Hello Clarice, misquote and its origin. It's one of the most famous lines in movie history. But what if I tell you that it never actually existed? Everyone remembers Hannibal Lecter greeting Clarice Starling with that spine-chilling "Hello Clarice?" But in reality, he never said it in the 1991 film. What he actually said was something much simpler. "Good evening, Clarice." So how did this false memory become so powerful that even people who have seen the film dozens of times swear it's real? Well, it's a classic case of what's called the Mandela effect. It happens when a large group of people shares the same false memory. The reason this misquote feels so real is that it perfectly captures the creepy, intimate energy between Hannibal and Clarice. And it sounds exactly like something he would say. And here's the best part. Even though it never happened in The Silence of the Lambs, the line became so iconic that Anthony Hopkins actually said it in the sequel, Hannibal, 2001. That's right. The fake line became real a decade later, and it's one of those moments where the audience's imagination literally reshaped pop culture.
Approach the glass. You pass him nothing but soft paper.
10 years later, I think this film is as strong as it was the day we made it.
Jodie Foster's and Anthony Hopkins' on-set fear. You might think great that actors can easily separate fiction from reality. But that was not the case with this film. The fear you see between Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins, that was completely real. Director Jonathan Demme wanted the tension between Clarice and Hannibal to feel authentic. So he told the two actors to avoid each other off camera, and Hopkins took it seriously. He stayed in character between takes, speaking in that same calm, creepy tone. Foster later admitted she was genuinely terrified of him throughout filming. She avoided him the entire shoot. And on the final day, she finally told him, "You scared me so much." Hopkins laughed and said, "I was scared of you too." That honest conversation between two brilliant actors was what made their chemistry unforgettable. To make things even more intense, during their first meeting scene, Hopkins didn't even look directly at Foster. He looked straight into the camera lens, making it feel like he was staring right into her. That simple trick turned a basic dialogue scene into one of the most chilling moments in movie history.
Do not touch the glass. Do not approach the glass. You pass him nothing but soft paper. If he attempts to pass you anything, do not accept it. Do you understand me?
The edible moth cocoons. Remember that disturbing scene where Clarice finds a moth cocoon inside one of Buffalo Bill's victims? It's horrifying, but surprisingly, it is also kind of sweet. I would say, literally? Well, the crew had to make sure the prop was safe since it would be near an actor's mouth. So what did they use? Tootsie Rolls for the shell and gummy bears for the inside. Yep, you heard me right, Candy. Just think about it. Something that looked so disgusting on screen was actually delicious behind the scenes. The moth used was the death's head hawk moth, famous for the skull-like pattern on its back. The detail fits perfectly with the film's dark themes about transformation and death. In the original book, the moth was called Acherontia Styx, which is named after the river of death in Greek mythology. Using real insects and edible props added a twisted sense of realism in this movie. Even the smallest details that are added in that movie will make your skin crawl. It's that level of dedication that made The Silence of the Lambs feel so disturbingly real. The improvised accent taunt. One of the most uncomfortable moments in the movie happens during Clarice's first conversation with Lecter. He mocks her small-town accent, her cheap shoes, and her background. Yes, it's harsh and personal. But what most people don't know is that Anthony Hopkins completely improvised it. Crazy, right? That wasn't in the script. Hopkins just followed his cruel, perceptive mindset and delivered those dialogues. What made things crazier is that Jodie Foster was not aware of this. So, the shock and embarrassment you see on her face? That's real. She later thanked Hopkins for it because it brought out a genuine reaction, and it fitted perfectly into that scene's emotional core. It showed how Lecter could cut through her walls and expose her deepest insecurities with just a few words. This moment wasn't planned, but it became one of the most memorable interactions in the film. It proved how both actors trusted the story and their instincts, and how a little improvisation can create movie magic. Anthony Hopkins' brief, Oscar-winning role. When you think of The Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter feels like he dominates the entire film. But what if I tell you that he's only on screen for 16 minutes and 52 seconds? Yes, in less than 17 minutes, Hopkins delivered one of the most powerful performances in cinema history and won the Best Actor Oscar for it. It's one of the shortest performances ever to win that award. What makes it so effective is how precise every moment is. Every glance, every word, every pause was calculated. The movie builds up Lecter's reputation so much that by the time he appears, we're already terrified. His calmness, his intellect, and his chilling smile do all the work. It was like, even when he's not in the scene, we can somewhat feel that he is present in that scene. You feel him watching, waiting, thinking. This proves that you don't need hours of screen time to make an impact. You only need to showcase the right performance at the right moment. If you are enjoying the video so far, stay with us. We still have a bonus fact waiting for you at the end. The intentional fourth wall breaks. Ever noticed how Hannibal Lecter seems to look right at you when he talks? Well, that's not an accident. Director Jonathan Demme made a bold choice. He made Hopkins and even Ted Levine, who played Buffalo Bill, look directly into the camera lens during key scenes. Normally, actors look slightly off camera, but here, it's as if Lecter is staring right into your soul. This was done to make the audience feel what Clarice was feeling. Yes, all vulnerable, trapped, and analyzed. It's especially chilling during the prison conversations, where you feel like you're the one being questioned. It also happens in Buffalo Bill's disturbing goodbye horses scene, where he stares straight into the lens. Here, the line between the character and viewer blurs perfectly. This technique made audiences deeply uncomfortable, and that's exactly what Demme wanted. He didn't just want you to watch the movie. He wanted you to experience it, casting near misses for Lecter and Starling. Can you imagine anyone other than Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter? Or anyone besides Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling? Well, what if I say that it almost happened? Originally, Jonathan Demme wanted Sean Connery to play Lecter, but Connery read the script and said it was too disgusting. He turned it down, and that's when Hopkins got the role. Lucky for us, because no one could have played that part the way he did. And for Clarice? The first choice was Michelle Pfeiffer, but she thought the story was too dark. Meg Ryan and Laura Dern were also considered, but Jodie Foster really fought for it. She believed in the story and wanted the challenge, and she nailed it. Buffalo Bill's real-life serial killer inspirations. Here's where things get truly terrifying. Buffalo Bill, the movie's main killer, wasn't just a random creation. He was inspired by 3 real serial killers. First was Ted Bundy, who pretended to be injured to trick women into helping him, just like Buffalo Bill did. Then came Ed Gein, a grave robber who used human skin to make clothes and furniture. That's where the woman suit idea came from. And finally, Gary Heidnik, who kept women trapped in a pit in his basement, is also a detail that made its way directly into the movie. By combining all these real horrors, the filmmakers created a character that felt real. Yes, an even scarier character. The contrasting movie and book endings. The movie ends with Hannibal Lecter calling Clarice, saying he won't pursue her, but that he's having an old friend for dinner. Well, it's both witty and terrifying. But in the book, it is totally different. In Thomas Harris's novel, Lecter writes Clarice a letter instead. He congratulates her, talks about her trauma, and wonders if the lambs have stopped screaming. The story ends quietly, with Clarice finally sleeping peacefully. But director Demme wanted a more haunting cinematic ending. He wanted the audience to feel uneasy, so he changed it. And like we all know, it worked. The film's final scene, with Lecter walking away into a crowd, leaves you thinking he could be anywhere, maybe right behind you. Bonus fact: the hidden image in the iconic poster. Now let's talk about the film's poster. Yes, that haunting close-up of Jodie Foster with a moth over her mouth. Everyone's seen it. But have you ever looked closely at the moth's skull pattern? That skull isn't a drawing. It's actually a famous photograph by Salvador Dalí and Felipe Halsman called In Voluptas Mors, Voluptuous Death. The photo is made up of 7 naked women arranged to form a human skull. This wasn't a random choice. Director Demme wanted to connect Buffalo Bill's obsession with transformation and skin to society's darker fascination with beauty and death. When you think about it, you can understand that it is eerie, artistic, and genius all at once. Conclusion: if you enjoyed this video, you will love the next one. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and tell us your favorite fact in the comments.